Good morning. It's the 18th of November. Is that hard to believe? Yes. Time's flying, and those little pictures at the beginning were all about the beginning, where it all started from. So, yeah, getting very reflective now that they're heading towards Cape Town, and they're absolutely flying down the coast. We'll talk about the sale replacement rules, 48-hour time penalty for any new sales and how that works. Some people might not understand that. So that's basically what the pictures are about. So if we come back here, that was, some people might identify that. That's the beautiful Rubicon Marina in Lanzarote. We'd left Marina de Lagos to sail there as the qualifier for the Transat. And this was start day from just offshore of Rubicon Marina in Lanzarote, heading across the Atlantic as the qualifier. So that was the first part of the start. That was Adam having some issues with one of his furling gears. It was a beautiful day, fantastic, good fun, had by all. So I think we had 11 boats sailing the Transat, and then we had the others join us in Antigua for the start. So fantastic place. It was a great send off. This is the next part of the beginning. That was my bounty boat. We were just leaving Tonga to head to the island of Tafua, which is where the mutiny took place, and then we went across the Pacific in this whaleboat, four of us. And that was, while we're doing that, I think, no, you could turn this into a race, and then that became a bit challenging, and then we, so it goes a boat because of this guy, the late John Guswell, who's our patron on Tracker, and so the whole story evolves, but it goes back. Now, Sun Bear, I've just we're waiting for the results of a survey in relation to the safety and man overboard situation of Sun Bear. You remember Eric went over the side. We're doing a full report on that, analysis of a few different things. So all the entrants have now got a survey. We're about to send that survey to previous Transat entrants and also a couple of 580s that have done some miles, just to see what processes they're using. So we're hoping to get that report out by mid-December. So that's what's happening. This is also the beginning. That's the first graphic diagram that we had of the boat when the 580 when we launched the website, and some of those statistics have changed a little bit, but that's part of the website. And there's this is the deal with new sales. Now, if anyone puts a new sale on board the boat, it's an automatic 48-hour time penalty. We've got a couple of people that have already got that. We'll be summarising those issues when the fleet gets to Cape Town. Okay, but Josh has got a new sale. So there's an immediate 48-hour penalty that will go onto the timeline. That's their finish time for the leg from Fiji to Cape Town. And others are carrying spares, but they're not penalised because they're just on board as a spare. So this is Christian signing off on Kerry's sales, I believe. Yeah, that's the British ones. So we seal them up, put tape around. They've got to sign it, and they send us the photos of that bag that's signed. Now, they can't open the bag when they're at sea on any interim stopover. It's a pit stop. They can't open the sails. They can only open the sails when they're in a proper stopover port. Okay, so not these weather stops. So if they blow out sails now, they've got to keep trying to persevere all the way to Cape Town, because that's the next one, unless we make Simon's Town a proper stop, not one of these interim ones for the weather. So yeah, quite a few boats got spare sails because they're hard to get in at a later date if they pop them. So that's how that works. Anyway, they're making good time down the coast, so we're going to go straight to the tracker. You're on the tracker, and now I'm on the tracker. There we go. So yeah, perfect weather. Couldn't complain at all. You've got two groups now. The group that got out in the middle of the night, and then you've got the follow-ups that were working 9 to 5, following behind. But it doesn't really matter because they're actually just on this one. It looks as if the second group are way behind the leaders. They're not really, because the clock only starts once they cross the start line for this leg, which is the same as the finish line. Okay, so it doesn't really matter. It's just their time at sea, and they could choose any time to depart. And each of them were effectively, racing each other. But these positions don't hold true to their actual performance on the water, because there wasn't a mass restart. Okay, so it might get a little bit confusing, but that's the nature of this leg. We allowed this free time stopovers, and that'll all be assessed at the end, and then once the last boat's in, we'll calculate the various penalties for sales. Ayrton got a 5-hour penalty because he missed the finish line. I don't know whether I explained that before, but there was, if you come back here to the finish line, obviously there was a finish line, and he cut the corner, missed it. Probably say he missed it sort of by mistake, and it probably saved him about, 20 minutes, maybe less. But anyway, because of that, we determined after we had a chat with him about the situation at the time, he got a 5-hour time penalty for missing the finish line of that leg, which is, the finish line's pretty important. Anyway, Kerry's still in port there. I read you the report on that yesterday. No problem. It's his desire, and he's going to take off on the next system. Christian, hang on. I'll just zip this up a bit bigger so we can see what's going on. So, Christian currently moving at 7.1 knots. I'll show you the current in a minute. And hasn't been out he has been out for not quite 24 hours, so still only 92 miles. Josh done 98 miles, less than 24 hours, 7.2. And Jasmine also 8 knots, so she's got a bit more, showing a bit more breeze in the middle. Maybe the graphic is accurate than 100 miles. So coming back down here, Jacob 7 knots, 143 miles. Current boosting along, 6.7 for Eric, 134 miles the last 24 hours. These guys have been out for 24 hours. Adam 7 knots, 147 nautical miles, and Ayrton 140 miles, doing 6.3. Peeler 7.1 and 150 miles, and Daniel 7.2, 161. And Renault, 162. You got to laugh. 7.5. So 7.5 versus 7.2. And Renault is actually cleaned up a mile on Dan. They were neck and neck when they set out, keeping an eye on each other. Now he's 1 mile ahead. So that's cool. Let's just see how the current is looking at the moment before we go into the future weather. I think just position you in your mind where they are, right in the middle of it, and it looks as if it's going to get a little bit stronger as they go forward. The decision now, when we see the weather, will be whether they go past East London and head towards Port Elizabeth. This is the big deal. Once you get down here and around the corner, you actually lose the current. Now, that's a good thing if you're getting headwinds, because you've got more or less a normal sea state rather than wind against tide or current in this. And it's probably, I don't know how fast this is moving. It might be, by the look of the weather, they should be sailing about 5 knots at least, maybe in 5.5, and the leaders are doing 7.5. So it's a couple of knots, which is not too bad, because you see reports at times some parts are moving at 5 knots or 4 knots, 3 knots. But I'd say in that breeze, Renault would be doing 6 knots. So maybe it's even less than 2 knots at the moment, but it's swinging around as in strength, it pulsates. And there's reasonably big tides at the moment too, so whether that has an effect, I don't know. Anyway, once you get around that, you turn the corner, you can see, if we kick back on this, the current is disappearing. There's still a favourable current, but it's not strong. And yes, it will have a bit of effect on the sea state, but not as dramatic as if you were stuck over here. So they haven't got far to go, and they're out of it. So you get a bit of a supercharging effect while they're coming down. So let's have a look at the wind now and see. It'll be getting cooler too, by the way. Speaking of cooler, it's getting cooler here. It's going to be 5 degrees in a couple of days. Anyway, right, here we go. So we'll look at the big picture for the weather. I'll just scan it back. I kind of like here, because it's so variable and the conditions change so quickly, this view is really important. So I'm going to hold that and we'll walk it forward, and then I might come up a little bit closer. But it's actually changing. It changes so fast. In fact, let's have a look here. Get rid of that. Yeah, so this is the predominant factor to a degree. It had that big central part of an overall massive high. It's starting to separate into two here, but it's pretty good because even if it does, there's not going to be an influence, a strong influence of southwesterly by the look of it. But let's just have a look and see how that goes. Rightio, we've got there, and we'll push this through. Hang on, I'm just setting up here. I'm going to come up one size bigger. So you've seen that picture. Rightio, going to press that one again, and here we go. Every 3 hours. So wow, it's only 6 hours, and there's the wind is dying in 6 hours, and it's got a light headwind coming, or a southwesterly wind coming. If you look at that, and the rest of there's no big winds. This is the good bit. There's 6 hours of this light headwind. You get up to about 10 to 15 there. And that's in 336. That's in 12 hours. So what? Is that right? Hang on a sec. I'm just going to go back here. I'm losing the clock. So we've got 18, and we're about 7:30. Okay, there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's 7:30 tonight. So there's 12 hours. So they're only 3-hour increments, not 6 hours. No, that's right. Okay, so 12 hours ahead. If we pick this up a bit now, because we can see what's going on, that's probably a better view. 12 hours ahead, they're going to be in no wind. The leaders are going to be in no wind. They'll be down here somewhere. And the wind's dying, and you've got this coming, but it's on the beam there. So that's not too bad in 12 hours. We've got to press that again. There we go. 12, it's just starting to swing, and this is if the graphic is right. So there's 12, another 6, so there's 18 hours. Then it's just a light headwind, but you see it's swinging really fast, and then there's no wind. So the current will push them down. No dramas to be drifting, but then there's a very slight wind coming from Port Elizabeth. Slight wind, yep, that's getting stronger, headwind. So this is now the 20th. So this is in 2 days. I reckon a few might call into Port Elizabeth if they're there. Some may dash out into, because the back ones are going to get little wind. And that wind strength is probably 10 to 15, maybe gusting 20 there. But it's holding, it's generally headwinds, but light headwinds. It's still holding. It's different from yesterday. It's coming back again, and then it starts to turn. This is the 21st. It's now the 18, 19, 2021. So a couple of days of interesting situation. It would be interesting to see if someone decides to push through that and keep going, or call in. I think the leaders will go past Port Elizabeth. I probably would. And sorry, not Port Elizabeth. East London. They'll go past East London and make for Port Elizabeth, I reckon, and then decide whether they keep going. So anyway, and then the long term, if we come back here, because that's on the 21st. Once you get past Port Elizabeth, it starts to split there. It turns, nice sailing, all in the right direction. There's the 22nd, all in the right direction for the 23rd, all in the right direction, maybe a bit slow to the 24th, but that's about where they'll be. And then we'll see what happens. But it's looking like we're keen to. I've got a well, we're talking about Cape Town berthing. We'll be talking about that, updating timelines, and see how far we can squeak it. And if there's issues there, we're discussing a possible stopover, not a weather-related stopover, an actual pit stop, just to slow them down a bit. So we explained that yesterday. Anyway, then there's some bigger stuff coming as well. So time will tell. But anyway, they're having a great time now, and no stress anywhere. Everyone's pretty relaxed, and happy to be out there heading to Cape Town. A bit of a milestone. Getting around Cape of Good Hope is something special. There's only one of three. There's three of them. Later on, they might want to do the GGR and take on Cape Horn. Who knows? A few people talking, and then we'll have to wait and see. Anyway, quick grab at the comments, and then I'll leave you through it. G'day, Tyson. Hey, Tyson, any luck with the merchandise? Oh, jeepers. Merchandise, honestly, is the bane of my life. You should see our house at the moment. It's just completely covered in stuff. and we dipped in and we found some bits and pieces. We weren't particularly chasing that because we were really busy at the moment. No luck yet, but we'll keep trying to get in there. Okay, but I mentioned it probably every 2 or 3 days. We're just flat out right now. So keep your fingers crossed. Thank you for. I wish we had more people and more time, but there you go. Christine, hang on a sec. Uh, Love watching this unfold. Good. Okay, Christine. Good morning, Port Elizabeth. Where an OCC member has kindly arranged for me to be a liverboard. Okay, that's cool. Maybe you could drop the line, sneak out. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see who comes in. I think you'll see a few. Great news. Great news, Christine. Yeah, the hospital of South Africans is out of this world. Yep, it is. I'm watching you from Darwin. G'day. I'll see. I can send photos of where they possibly will be tied up near me. Okay. All right. All good. So thanks for that. Remember to like, share, comment, tell your friends, all those sorts of things. And it's only another 4 years to wait for 29, but a bit of interest. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.